Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this week's Fibrific Live Craft and Chat, where we craft and chat live. I may craft. I don't know. I do have craft. We did a test last week. I was able to do something, but that was actually the last craft I've done. I haven't done any in my life. I'm still getting over all this nightmare, and I learnt something very important about myself this week. That just because I can push through and do something doesn't mean I'm not going to have to pay for it the next day. So, story time. Um, Tuesday, I had a couple of appointments in the morning and got those done. Everything was good, but I knew I had a YouTuber event on Tuesday night. Now, I don't in Australia. There's hardly any YouTuber events around, and then there's even less around for channels like that I qualify for. Usually, there's like, minimum number of subscribers before you can, join in, kind of thing. Somehow, I ended up being allowed to come to this one, even though I don't think I probably should have. Anyway, I was there and had a great time. Got home, was feeling fine. The next morning, I woke up not fine. So not fine. I had this massive plan for yesterday and it all went into the toilet, the whole plan, because I was just like, okay, so, I'm going to be using a bit of extra energy on Tuesday. I'm going to leave Wednesday morning empty so I can just sleep in. So I turned my alarm off to sleep in. So I did that. I woke up. I sat up. I was just like, I don't actually feel that great. And I actually felt like I had a hangover, even though I'd had no booze. And I was just like, I really don't feel awesome. So I got up anyway, got changed, had breakfast, potted around, tried to get into the anyway. An hour later, went back to bed, slept until basically dinner time. Like Tim had done the dinner, all I had to do was serve it. So I got up and served the dinner. That was it. And then I stayed up for a few hours after that. So I was just like, okay, that was dumb. Try not to do that again. Has anyone else had a day like that where it was just like your plans just totally got wiped out because your energy level said no? Oh, no, no, not for you. Not for you. So I did not pre-schedule this stream yesterday because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel this morning. So, which is, why not everything was here. So let's have a look. Bianca is here. Hello, Bianca. Kelly is here. Grabbing coffee. I just about knocked off my water. I am a beverage goblin today. I have my coffee, some tea in my other thing, and some sparkly water, which I've half drunk, but I've still got more there. So yeah, it's awesome. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. Sally's here. Good morning, Sally. Leanne's here with a very important question. What are you crafting on today? And Leanne has just finished a beanie. So let us know in the chat what it is you're working on. I do have Abby's blanket out. If I get, the urge, the itchy fingers. So we've worked out that as long as I don't watch my hands, I'm okay. Francis, good morning. Knitspin Girls, great to see you. Bianca says ranunculus. Yes, I'm wearing my ranunculus today. Here we go. There we go. Ranunculus. La la la. Made as a t-shirt in 4-ply organic cotton. I love it. It's so light. It's just great for this sort of weather. Red Hooked is here. It's great to see you. Shannon Cooper as well. Sally says, yeah, that's me almost every day. Oh, Sally. Like, I have, like, other health issues, as you know, but I don't have to deal with it every day. So I'm really lucky in that regard, I think. Plenty of those days, yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. I mentioned the top. Thank you. This is why I no longer play in a band. I just don't have the next day spare to recover. Isn't it ridiculous? And like, I was home. I was home and in the door by 9:30. It's not like it was 1 a.m., So yeah, I think Francis, I think it's you. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it might be you. If anybody else in the chat's having a problem, let us know. But from my end, everything's still looking good. Um, but yeah, so I was showered and in my pajamas by my normal 10:30 bedtime, but I was wiped like when I walked into the venue, it was just this wall of sound. There was music and people talking and it was fantastic, but I was just like, oh, this is a lot. Like, so even just getting through that wall was, I had to also drive into the valley, which is also not my favorite place to drive and find parking. And then you guys know, like in Australia, right? Paying for parking is an absolute nightmare in the city, right? So I found some available parking. Unfortunately, the two nearest the venue were both from the same company, so there was no competition in prices. And I had to be there for 5:30 for a 6 p.m. start. None of the nighttime parking deals start till 6. So I'm like having to park at like 5:15, so that I could had time to walk down to the venue. And and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I'm like rereading the sign and I'm thinking, am I going to be paying $100 to park for 5 hours? Like, oh my God. Because just how it was worded on the sign was, if you come in before 6 p.m., you'll be charged at the day rate. At least that's how it read to me. And the day rate was sort of like $20 an hour. And I'm like, oh man, it's just, I was like, far out. Okay, I never get to go to these sorts of things. The event is free. There's nibbles and drinks. There's people to talk to. There's a workshop to take. You know, I'm like, I'll just, I'll just pay it. And then I've sort of, as I've gotten in the car and I'm like, okay, time to pay. And I'm like, deep breath, and it was $12. And I'm just like, I mean, I'm not grumpy. I'm surprised. I think they need to word that sign better. But I was just like, oh my God. Cause like from 6 p.m. onwards, it's a flat rate of $10. But through the day, cause this is like inner city parking, through the day, it's $20 an hour. So I just about had this heart. I'm like, okay, just put it on the credit card and I'll deal with it later. And it was like, dip. And then it's come up with $12, confirm to pay. And I'm like, quick before it changes its mind. So I quickly paid. So I was very happy that the parking was only $12. My husband was like, you didn't know before you went, didn't you research it? And I'm like, I kind of did, but not enough, obviously. And I didn't click that I wasn't, because I'm like in my brain, the function starts at 6 and it didn't click that I actually had to be there at I had to park at like sort of 5:15 to 5:30. So, but yeah, I was very relieved, very relieved. I was watching this thing. I don't. What was it? It might have been a YouTube video. I think it was a YouTube video. Someone in the US had seen the aerial footage of Taylor Swift's concert playing. I think it was down in Melbourne, right? So 96,000 people, and from the air, it was very obvious that we don't have parking around our structures, or at least hardly any parking. There's like barely any parking. But what you can't see is just off to the side is just this, it's phenomenal public transporting options to this particular venue hub because we've got like a pile of different things all in the same place. And there was this huge discussion about how, where's everyone park? Like it's a 96,000 people are there. Where are they all parked? It's like they all public transported. They all buses and trains and then walked over because it's just a little walk. And they're just like, yeah, but where does everybody park? And it's like at their house and public transports it. And so what this YouTube creator did, I wish I grabbed the link to the video. It was so interesting. Is I actually grabbed aerial shots of major sporting venues in the US. And so it's just like these big football stadiums that have like 50,000 people seating, but then they have car parking around it for like 20 to 30,000 cars. And you're just like, oh my gosh. Like seriously, like it was just crazy amounts of car parking. And this the commentator who was American, they were just like, wow, this just really hammers at home just how reliant Americans are on their cars. And like I personally am very reliant on my car. I generally don't go somewhere if I can't drive there. Um, or at least, I will really research it heavily because if I've got to use energy for lots of walking while I'm there, um, then actually using all the energy before I get there, or I've got to save energy to get home, is really awkward. So I try to park near where I've got to be, even if I have to pay. And usually parking's not free, so you've got to pay for the parking. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. And the other thing was a few years ago there was this special big fairy lights thing at Roma Street, which is like an inner city uh, big park, and it was all designed for kids, like with little fairy glens and stuff. It looked amazing, and we were going to go. But we worked out it was actually cheaper to drive in and park than it was going to be for the three of us to catch a train in. So which was hilarious. And for some reason I don't think we ended up going. I think the people we were going with cancelled or something. But anyway, we didn't end up going. But yeah, it's a little bit crazy. The hubby and the kiddo work at the MCG. It's very central to the city. Trams and trains and foot traffic. Not much, not for the yeah. And that's the other thing. Like the MCG, which is where Taylor Swift was. Um, they're in a city. Like it's Melbourne, so it's just off to the side a little bit. So yeah. If I go into the city, I should drive to a train or bus station nearby and then get public transport. If I'm going into the city, which I just want to clarify, I don't actually remember the last time I went into the city, other than this Tuesday, which was the Valley. Um, I would normally public transport it as well because the city is very hard for parking. But just about anywhere else, I drive. I drive. Now I do have a question, and you may not notice it, or you might notice it, or whatever. I don't know. But is my image a bit darker than usual? Because I'm seeing it. It looks a bit darker for me on one screen, but then not on another, and then I don't know what you're getting. So let me know if my face is a little darker. The background's a little darker. It's supposed to be, but I don't know about my face. I don't want my face too pale because that also means there's not enough light on my hands, which will go into that as well. Um, Sometimes your venue ticket gives you free. Yeah, quite often, especially in Brisbane. Like if you've got ticket to a football game, um, it actually it actually also gets you public transport. Yeah, and yes, free transport, especially for the tennis and the Grand Prix. Yeah, because they don't want people driving it, so they make it as easy as possible. And there's usually like I can only speak from Brisbane events, like, and so if we go down to the football, we can catch a train down to another train station, and there's this massive, big, really big buses acting as shuttle services, just constantly going, and they just fill up and move on, and then the next one pulls in and fills up, and they just have this huge, huge shuttle service. I don't know why it's darker. I actually brightened one of the lights because it seemed a bit darker on my end. I noticed when I watched the replay of my Monday stream, I tried a different light here, and that one was really dark, and I didn't realize how dark it was, and I was just like, "Don't want that. Put the old light back on." So I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe the light's dying. It's pretty old. It's actually really old. This light here, this one that gives the majority of the light, it's really old. It's 2016 old, and still has the same bulb. So there's a good chance it could be dying. Maybe I should look into that. Maybe I should look into that. Um, Same in Sydney, public transport with lots of the big events, plus extra buses if it's at Sydney Olympic Park. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I think we do try to organise it to make it so it's easy to not drive. And that also means that for those people that have to drive, like special needs, people in wheelchairs, stuff like that, they have parking spaces there. It's available for them. And I think that's really important as well, because then they don't miss out. They don't miss out. I'm just going to check a thing. Check in a thing. One thing I wanted to say is today is the first Thursday of the month. Did you know? And that means Caffeinated Crafters is on at IKEA tonight. At this stage, I am probably not going to go. I am still feeling not quite there from yesterday and the day before. And I've got a couple of things I've got to get done today. So I've got to wait and see until later and see how I'm feeling. Um, I'll be honest, it's not looking good right now. It's not looking good. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. I won't judge it until later because I could perk up. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying really hard. I can hear a lot of noise outside. We do have construction now. It's not directly out the front of my house, which I'm really relieved about. This morning, I was a little bit worried that that's what was going to be happening because there was a lot of like trucks and stuff. But I think they were just sort of using our section of the street as like the where they all met up and then they divvied up and went further away. I can't see their trucks now, and I know that we're getting a couple of the local streets are being dug up and resurfaced. So I know that that's coming because ours hasn't been dug up yet. So I'm waiting for the big noise diggers. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. And just in other news, our Louis is a little under the weather. He's okay. He's fine. He went to the vet. He's just a little bit dehydrated. And just so we've got Abby's looking after him. Abby's been making him um, the bland food that you know dogs are supposed to have when they're feeling under the weather. So she's been making him boiled chicken, and which she shreds up and mixes in with rice. And so she's been doing that. And he when he has to go back to normal dog food, he's going to be really ticked off because he really loves chicken. But he was looking a lot happier today than yesterday. Abby had him outside running around playing with a ball. So now he's passed out. Like he used all his spoons this morning. So he's passed out on her bed. But yeah, so hopefully, we can get this sorted. Oh, another thing I wanted to say is, you know how last week we were like, okay, let's try Gatorade to see if that helps. Hugely helped, ridiculous amounts. Okay. Like, I don't know if it's the sugar, if it's the electrolytes, if it's both. But it was a massive help. So I actually today I have been delivered some bulk orders of Gatorade from Amazon because, right? Gatorade's $4 a bottle, right? Here in Australia, like that. I don't know what size it is. 600 ml bottle. I think it's a 600 ml bottle. Um, $4 unless it's on sale, and then you might be able to get it for $2.80 or $2 a bottle if it's on sale, right? Um, I can buy like my favorite flavor, which is watermelon or tropical. I can't decide between the two, so I bought both. 12 packs for $24 each, including delivery. I ordered them yesterday. They're coming today. So I'm like, I'll have those. Thanks very much. Thank you. I'll have those. So I don't want to get used to having Gatorade all the time, but I think while I'm dealing with all of this stuff, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So, and for someone who just like, I very rarely drink soft drink. I don't drink cordial. I normally just drink water, tea, or coffee. That's it. I don't add sugar to my tea and coffee. So it's basically bean juice or, you know, tea bag drippings or water. And so I don't want to get used to the sugar content, but at the moment I think I need that. Could be the electrolytes. It could be the healthy thing in there. I don't know. Anyway, but Louis is happier. So let's see if we can do this. I don't know if we can or not. Oh, hello keyboard. I didn't realize you're in the shot. All the testing that I did. All the testing, and I didn't realize that there was a couple of little things in the shot. Okay. Now, like this is how hopeful I am. There's this much left of the ball, right? It's looking a bit daggy. I even went and grabbed another ball because I'm like, I am so helpful, so hopeful that that I can do some craft today. So I just looked down and instantly my brain just went, oh, okay. So I'll get it started and then I'll look up and I'll look at the screen because when I look at the screen it doesn't happen, but when I look down it does. I need a stash for emergencies. Yeah, the problem being. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, the problem being my two favorite flavors, one of them is Abby's favorite flavor. So Abby's obsessed with the watermelon. So I've got a feeling that even if I don't drink them and try to save them, then it'll get drunk anyway, if that makes any sense. So Francis, I had a little look at the sugar free, but it's still sweetened. So I don't do artificial sweeteners. I'm like, give me sugar, honey, or maple syrup. That is it. Anything else is a no. Um, so yeah. Or no sugar. You know what? If it says no sugar, I want it not sweet. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. And I think some of these things would be great if they weren't sweet. Do you know what I mean? Like I make my own iced tea because the ice like, and while I don't mind like the occasional Lipton's iced tea, like they make a really nice peach iced tea. Don't get me wrong. Um, but I make iced tea at home, and in 2 liters of iced tea, there is 1 tablespoon of sugar. So I don't like it's basically enough sugar to kick out any kind of bitterness out of the tea leaves. So yeah, I'm not which is hilarious, right? I'm like, I'm not a big fan of sugary drinks, but then hand me chocolate. It's a totally different story. Packet of snakes, I'll eat that. Like it's ripe red raspberries are my absolute favorite lolly. I'll have those. Thanks. I got no issues when it comes to lollies, but when it comes to drinks, for some reason, I'm not the biggest fan of sugary drinks. But I don't mind a lemonade. I'll take a lemonade if there's one on offer. But and that's the thing. Like if there's bubbly drink in the house, if there's soft drink in the house, we'll drink it. So I just don't buy it unless we've got guests, or we generally will buy some if we're having pizza. So it's just how it goes. Um, oh yeah, I can imagine. Stuart uses the powder form, keeps it in his work trailer. In this weather, he sweats everything out of his system. I can imagine. Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Tradies need to be really on top of their electrolytes too. 'Cause they just wash it out with the amount of water they'd need to drink to survive outside in this weather. Don't look down. But yeah, so it's one of these things. And look, I know some people they absolutely love their artificial sweeteners. I get it. Like I used to be a Diet Coke girl. I used to love Diet Coke, and not because it was Diet Coke. It tasted different than normal Coke, right? I'm not the biggest Coca-Cola fan, and so it tasted different, and I enjoyed it. Um, but the recipe changed, and after the recipe changed, I did no longer enjoy it, so I stopped buying it. So I think I'll have like I said, not the hugest Coke fan. When I used to do Bendigo, I could guarantee there were 2 Cokes a year. There would be one on day 2 of driving down to Bendigo, and one on day 2 of driving home from Bendigo. Um, so I would like stop at a servo, top up the fuel, grab a Coke, and keep going. And if I could, it would be a vanilla Coke because vanilla Coke is my favorite, which is like extra sweet. Like I don't like sweet drinks except for this one, which is ridiculously sweet. It's just all sweet. It has no flavor. It's just sweet. Oh dear. Knitspin Girl says, I bought a bottle of iced tea with no sugar on the label. It's sweet, really sweet. Check the ingredients and it has artificial sweetener in it. So disappointed. Yeah. Leanne says the only one I can bear in my coffee is the organic stevia. Who knows if it a better one? I'm not sure. I don't know much about stevia. I do know it's a plant derivative, which makes me feel better than some of the other options. I just don't like the flavor of it. So, but I'm glad you found an option that works for you. So, Josephine says Coke is dead to me. It's just such a definitive statement. Coke is dead to me since they discontinued the vanilla Diet Coke. Yeah, and that's the thing. The vanilla is special. And can you still buy vanilla Coke? Like this is how long it's been since I've bought a Coke. Can I even still buy a vanilla full strength Coke? I don't know. What was that, Abs? Oh yes, yes. Abby says it is still available. So there you go. I couldn't tell you the last time I had one, but it is still available. Let me think. 2019 is probably the last time I had one. Gosh. Okay. Sal likes the Coke Zero. Yeah. My dentist doesn't like it when people drink Coke Zero. She says that something that they put into it, like if they're drinking huge amounts of it, I should say, huge amounts of it. It's got like extra acidity or something that does something to your teeth. So my dentist is like, because I said, because she was like, do you drink soft drinks? And I'm like, well, I do drink bubbly drinks. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I use my soda stream to add bubbles to water. She's like, that's fine. That's fine. Um, there we go. I don't drink alcohol, so my one soft drink with dinner feels special. Also, artificial sweetener tastes awful to me. See, I do drink alcohol, so yeah. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel guilty for drinking soft drink. If soft drink is your thing, have it. It's just not really my thing. Um, but yeah, like seriously, I do drink alcohol and I drink good alcohol. So, any money that I save not by not drinking soft drink, I certainly spend it elsewhere. And I do tend to actually have my alcohol not mixed as well, now that I think about it. Every now and again I'll mix like a lesser quality scotch with dry ginger ale. I will add lemonade to vodka sometimes. Usually I like vodka and soda, but every now and again I want a little sweetener. If usually like, all right, here we go. If I want a sweet boozy drink, right? If I want a sweet boozy drink, I will make this terrible. It's terrible. Okay, it is a um a butterscotch Black Russian, and it's basically so bad. Vodka, Kahlua, and butterscotch schnapps. It's sweet, lots of ice. It's cold. There's no soft drink in it, but it's probably got 6 times the amount of sugar. Um, since finding sparkling water, I have no need for soft drinks. It was the bubbles. It was the fizz I craved. I get that. Hello, bubbles. Let me have a look here. Sal says I drink no more than 3 days. Sometimes it's only 2. Oh, my dentist would say that's a lot, but you do you. I do too. Um, on a really hot day, I do like to drink just soda water. Seems more refreshing. Yeah. Yep. It is. It's like I don't know what it is. Like I've noticed because I now when I'm streaming, I will actually just like it's right here. I will actually make up a whole bottle of soda stream bubbly water for the stream. And I'll drink the whole lot. Like by the end of the afternoon, the whole bottle will be gone. And sometimes even by the end of the stream, the whole bottle's gone now. And since I've started doing that, I actually feel better after a stream rather than just drinking lots of coffee. Not to say there's not coffee here too. Hello, coffee. So you don't feel neglected. I won. I won against the coffee machine this morning. I'll tell you the story in a second. So apparently, our coffee machine just hates me. Doesn't hate Tim. So this morning, I turned the coffee machine on and it worked. It was just like, oh my God, because it's totally a lottery now. It's totally a lottery. And I made my morning coffee and then I was just like, you know what? I'm just making my stream coffee now. So I made the stream coffee. I went to turn the machine off because it all worked. And after that, it did its thing. And it was just like, and I'm just like, I won. I've got my coffees for later. I don't need you. It felt great. Albeit maybe a little vindictive, but it felt great because I won. Oh yeah, Sally. The buttery Black Russian is my favorite drink, and you can make it a White Russian by adding milk or a little bit of cream to it. Um, I'm not I'm not really it's not really my thing. I'm not like a big milky drink person. When I want to drink milk, I just drink milk. So when it comes to like alcoholic drinks, I don't tend to make them milky. Once I worked out, I was drinking the soft drinks for the fizz. I got a soda stream. Yeah. Freaky says, hi all, I could not drink sparkling water. I'd be too busy mesmerized watching it sparkle. I love that with the soda stream, you can make it as sparkly as you want. So I'm like hardcore, like extra fizz, all the fizz. But yeah, and hello, it's good to see you. We are all well. We're getting there. Well, at least I'm getting there, but I think everybody else as well. I don't like plain fizzy water. My brain keeps expecting lemonade. Look, I won't lie. For the first little while, my brain, every time I drank like just the carbonated water, it would just be like, oh, okay. But now it's like, ooh, relief on a dry sore throat. Get the fizzy water. Get the fizzy water. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Alrighty. And it's a little warm here today, so I'm a little, it's a little warm. Try not to look at your hands, except it's really hard when I'm doing like front and back posts. I need to see where the hook goes to make sure it's going in the right spot. I'll just put it down for a second. There we go. More coffee. Do you know what really helps if you want to drink the drink? Open the lid. Total game changer if you actually want any beverage. I've been in other lives of playing games. That is so cool. I'm glad. Got to have your life. You got to do your thing. Let me look here. I'm just like, don't look at it, Chantelle, you Gumby. You know exactly what's going to happen. I wonder if I could just do it directly from the stream. Many years ago, when I used to make the tutorials, right, I would have the camera set up right here. So I would actually have the flip up screen and the screen would be blocking my view of my hand. So I would actually be watching the screen to work. Um, so, you know, that works. I mean, bugging others and giving you a lot of break. I mean, we don't need a break from you if that's what you think. We don't. Leanne says, I don't have my aircon on. That has not happened too much recently. Yeah, we don't have ours on today either, but I'm seriously contemplating whether or not that was a wise decision. Excuse me. It might be different once I'm not sitting under like a room full of lights. It might be different out in the lounge room where there's a bit more breeze. Oh gosh, yesterday afternoon, right? Or yesterday evening, I'm trying to get a little bit of work done, except I didn't want to sit in here. I wanted to sit on the comfy chair in the lounge, right? So I've grabbed my laptop, and every time I tried to do something, the browser would just freeze. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And because I already had low energy from the whole day, it was just so hard. I have no idea what its problem was. It was just I don't know if it was the software I was using, which was a web-based software, or if it was the computer or what. I mean, the computer is old. Okay, it's like a 2019 Lenovo, right? It's so a Windows laptop that is 5 years old. Okay, like I know for some people they're like that's not old. For me, that's old. And it also was like it's only a little mid range. It's not super powerful. It like I can't edit videos on it or anything like that. It can't handle any of that. It's only an i5. So yeah, which was an error in my ordering. I literally ordered the wrong one, and because it was shipped out and posted out, and I didn't realize it until after I'd opened everything up and was wondering why some things wouldn't work. And then it was too late, and it was on sale, and it was like a no refunds thing. I was just like, oh my god. Anyway, it's perfectly fine for everything except for editing, right? So I was okay with it. I was like, I can live with this. I can legit live with this. I can live with my mistake. It's fine. Not anymore. I can no longer live with the mistake. And now I'm like, do I need to start thinking about buying another laptop? I really don't want to, but I may have to. Come on, little. Where's your leg? There it is. Trying to make it so it just didn't end up with a massive gap. I wanted it nice there. Okay, let's have a look here. Above or below zero? Oh, well and truly above zero. It is. We've had a long, hot summer here. So 40, what is that? Like 103 for 40? Yeah, I think it's like 103 or 104. I don't know if Sally gets the same sort of. We'll get late 30s, so more like the 98s, but then we'll have like 80 to 90% humidity on top of it here, and it's just you feel like you're walking around in a sauna, not a sauna, in a steam room all the time, and it's just like this. You're just wading through soup. It's just so not awesome. Okay, we can get started with looking. That's a front post. Is that right? That's not right there. Hang on a second. What have I done? Did I miss a stitch? I just did a wrong stitch, that's all. It was supposed to be. I'm glad I checked. I'm glad I checked. Sally says it'll be a dry heat. Every time someone says it's a dry heat, I remember a skit from Jeff Dunham with his old man dummy talking about going between Florida and somewhere else. And it just cracks me up every time. It's a dry heat. I'll see if I can find a link to it somewhere. It's pretty. Oh, there we go. That makes more. That's better. That works now. It's amazing how if you do the right stitches the row before, how it's more likely to work, right? Isn't that just amazing? Oh, only 28% humidity. That'd be lovely. I mean, I'd still prefer it not 40, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you. Not 40 would be better. But 28% humidity sounds lovely. Sounds novel. But yeah, I don't know what we are here today. It feels very humid. Let me just, where's my phone? Phone, you're hiding under the ball of yarn. It will be, right now it's 27 degrees, feels like 30, and we have 63% humidity. So that's actually not bad. But 30 degrees C to F, hang on a second, 30 degrees C to F, 86, 86 US degrees. Okay, so with the vision thing looking down, it's only when I look down at craft. It's not when I look down just at stuff, like when I'm looking at the floor, when I'm walking around. For some reason, when I look down and look at craft, I don't know what it is, but I also know I do need to get my glasses checked. So it could be a couple of things. It could be a mix. It could be because I'm wearing these glasses looking down and I'm not at the right focal point anymore. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I should probably go to the doctor. I haven't been. So yeah. It's just been a busy couple of weeks. I say busy as in not very many spoons. And do I want to use a spoon for that? No, I want to use it for something else. But I should probably go. Yeah, I agree with Knit Spin Girls. I would go for a slightly higher humidity, but then drop it down by 10 to 12 degrees. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Flip those numbers. More drink. So one of the things that I really want to get done is I've got a couple of little tutorials, like a Ravelry one and something else, Secret Squirrely, that I want to get done for the channel. But it's another thing that just takes this inordinate amount of energy, and I'm just like, I just want to make these videos. Damn it! I just want to do the things. But yeah, it's definitely one of these things. I also got videos I want to make for my other channel as well. And there was a video that I really wanted to get done. It was super time sensitive and I'm running out of time. I can still get it done and it'll be there for next time sort of thing. But it's like, man, I just want to, yeah. Hey Holly, it's great to see you. Oh yeah, sorry Sal. Yeah, I did just grab that. Yep. But yeah, it's just, it's fun. Life is fun, right? Life is fun at the moment. Just trying to work out what I can fit into each day and learn from the mistakes of trying to fit one too many things in and just yeah. It's not my favorite. Let's just go with that. Not my favorite at the moment. It feels very limiting and I don't like the limits. And what's missing out mostly is any social stuff. So anytime I want to go and hang out with my friends, I want to go and do something like go and get a coffee or something like that. That's all stuff that's having to get missed out on because I've got to use this time for work-based stuff. So like it's just frustrating. I mean, I don't feel guilty about not being able to craft as much this week just because I've been able to get a bit more work done. Because even though I can't craft as easily, although it's easing out. What I will say is the more I'm doing this looking down thing, the less I'm feeling the woozy thing. So maybe it is my eyes rather than anything else. It's because I'm not doing a lot of work. I'm not wearing these glasses a lot. Maybe I need to go and get my glasses checked. Um, had to change locations and glasses. Now finishing sewing the current bag. Game Widows. Speaking of bags, how is the mushroom bags going? Are they all gone? Because they are adorable. Because you had the four in the four different coloured linings, and they all looked glorious and adorable. And I haven't checked. I haven't checked your Etsy store. I'll be honest. I haven't looked because I don't want to go, and then I might just buy one. And I don't really want to buy anything right now. I'm just trying to really be good and not purchase anything unnecessary while I work out what's going on. Um, that really rolled right back there, didn't it? There's still 3 bags left and humbugs. I'm not looking, but you guys can look. You guys can go and look because they are gorgeous. And the current bag, come back here. Current bag is Pavlova fabric. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I'm like, Mother's Day soon, right? My mum loves Pavlova and she loves little bags. She doesn't always use them for craft, she uses them for other stuff, but I could see Nana having a use for these bags. Sal beat me. She did. She did. That's okay because that gives people a choice as to which one they want to click. So yeah, I'm really hoping to get back into our game soon, but I think just focusing on one project at the moment is enough for my brain. I don't want to push it too hard by making it try and do too many things. Um, let's see, does that work? Nope, that doesn't work. That's the one. They've got lots of layout options, but there we go. That's what I wanted. That's better. Is that actually it's a question for you. Is that a better view for you or not? I've also learnt when I hover my mouse over this section, it actually gets dark. It's weird. So move the mouse. Because these are all like little pre-built in options in StreamYard. So I can move a few things around. You like that screen? Oh, there you go. Sally's popped in a link to our Discord server. If you want to come and join our Discord server, it is free to join. If you are a channel member, there is an extra little section just for you. I'll be honest, I haven't posted much in there in the last few weeks just because brain, but I am planning a special thing over there into the members area. It'll be like a live video call, like a Zoom call, basically, where we can all chat together in the Discord. So if you can Zoom, you should be able to do this other thing as well. It looks so similar. It's not funny, but it's within Discord. So it will be one of those things. My question is this going to be a magic stream where your voice puts my toddler to sleep? I don't know. Does my voice put your toddler to sleep? I didn't know that. Anyway, um, I used to read Abby books and that would put her to sleep. I did used to do the boring, dull voice where I didn't make any intonation and the books were not exciting or fun because they were books for going to sleep. Whereas through the day, the reading was a lot more vibrant, energetic. So, oh, it does do that sometimes. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that. Magical power that I didn't know I had. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. You'll have to let us know if it works or not. Um, but yeah, so coming up in the Discord soon. I want to do it sooner rather than later because I want to. It's going to be a practice run. It could crash and burn. I've not done it this way within the YouTube members area into the Discord. I've done a test in a different area with some friends, but I haven't done it in our YouTube members area to test it out. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But that'll be coming up soon. I will have to. I should just lock in a date and just do it no matter what. Um, we do, and I'm planning a productivity stream this month if I can. Let me just double check it's not like Tim's birthday or something. Let me just. 1, 2, 3. Luckily it's not. It's the day. It's a couple of days before. So unless let me just look here. It's already in the calendar. It's already in the calendar to be done. So there we go. Yeah, it probably would get copyrighted if we did that. Yes, I believe it is election day in Brisbane, or at least Logan Council's having an election. Are the other councils having elections on the same day? Because if I just go and vote first thing in the morning, it's not an issue for me. I've got another meeting that'll run from 8 till 9, and then from I think we normally run the productivity streams like, are they start at 10? I think they still start at 10. Yeah, they still start at 10. I can always go after. Oh, it's elections for all in Southeast Queensland. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to try and vote beforehand. Chantelle said Gold Coast votes next week. Okay. For those of you who are watching who are not in Australia it is compulsory to vote, and voting days are always Saturdays, so that it's easier for the majority of people to get there. And all polling stations are open from, is it 8 a.m. or 6 a.m.? They shut at 6 p.m. I know that much. Maybe it's 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're open for the whole time, and there are voting locations all over the place. Like you can normally find one within a 5 to 10 minute drive of your house. So we do have lots of options. Yes, and democracy sausages. So there are people there with barbecue grills selling sausages on bread or sometimes in a bun with onions and sauce, and you can buy those to eat on your way out or eat on your way in. 6 to 6. Thanks, Chintamani. Oh, Francis says 8. That's confusing. I don't know. I'm probably not going to try and go at 6 anyway. But yeah, our polling stations are open for a long time. They're always open for a set time. And they yeah, I thought it was 8 for some reason, but you can also pre-poll. So if you can't make it on the Saturday, you can go to a pre-polling location, which they do normally have one. They're not there's not as many of those around. You've got to hunt for those. Or you can, if you get in really early, you can do postal votes. Frances lives across the road from one. It's 8 for her. So yeah, maybe because my brain was going 8 a.m., but I was thinking maybe I just think 8 a.m. so I don't have to get up early. Like it was a self-guilt thing. But anyway, it's a long time where you can vote and poll. And usually at our local polling stations, we just sort of park, walk in. We don't have to wait a long time. I think the longest I've ever had to wait to vote is about 20 minutes. 8 to 6 for Leanne as well. Okay, so 8 to 6. Um, yeah, so we have lots of options for getting our votes done, which is good because it is compulsory and you will get a fine if you don't vote. Um, yeah. So we have to join the electoral roll. Nitspin Girl says there's no democracy sausages at pre-polls, so that's sad. That's really sad. I mean, they're usually a bit quieter though, right? Every now and again, like there's a really good spot that'll have like not just democracy sausages, but also some sort of local charities. Like they'll do like baking stalls, so you can get like cookies and things like that. How much is the fine? I think it depends on which level of government that you are. It's like whether it's a city council vote or whether it's a state vote or a federal vote. I think it depends, but I'm not 100% certain. I think the federals are more like the 120. The fines aren't a lot. Like, I think the federal ones are more expensive, but the local ones are a lot cheaper. Francis says it's only a $40 fine. Yeah, but like if you don't want to get the fine, you just vote, right? And then you can complain about politics. Sally has never. You need to find a new polling station, Sally. You need to. There used to be a website that did it for us. It's so much easier. Game Widow says we had a sausage plus the Scout group made honey joys. Ah, that sounds yummy. Talia says when we were at the PNC, we had sausages, bake sale plants at our polling. Yeah, they make it like a full little like a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a not quite a fair. No, that's not what I'm thinking for. Anyway, there's usually lots of options. There can be lots of options, but for us, we usually do just get the democracy sausage at our local. So yeah, I think it really does depend on where you're voting. I'm just gonna sit back for a little, but it's coming along. It's like it's like so springy and it's just nice. It's just such a nice blanket. Abby's gonna be very happy when it's finished. Still got to weave in all the ends. Sorry, say that again. One lady hid in the bathroom, ate the aloe vera, and then requested a refund. But she couldn't give it back to get the refund. That's bizarre. That is weird. I mean, not even the whole eating an aloe vera plant. Like, because I know some people do that, and I like aloe vera like mixed into some of my drinks. Like, but wanting a refund on a plant she ate? Like, what? I don't understand. Yeah, Leanne, what? How much is left to go on the blanket? I'm not sure. I've got to do some measury do's, but I think like it only needed an extra couple of inches for what Abby wanted. But I haven't measured it in a little while, and I think I'd rather go longer than shorter, if that makes sense. Like, and I still have like balls of yarn left, so, yeah. Chintamani has said, wow, as of last year, not voting is a $154 fine in Queensland. Yeah, and I think the different states have got different rules. So yeah, it's I knew it was I know that my dad got a fine a couple of years back and it was 120, but I couldn't remember which one because dad has our address not anymore had our address as his residential address because he was roaming Australia in a bus. And we couldn't get hold of him to tell him he had to vote because where he was there was no phone service, and so he missed out on voting. And so yeah, it was it was definitely an interesting one because he was really annoyed. Um, yeah, so it's important to vote and keep your $160 in your own pocket. So, but I mean, like they do make it as easy as possible. Like really, like it's not like it's $160 fine if you don't vote. Except good luck finding a polling station or some way to vote. There's always tons of places to vote. Some schools have voting, PCYCs have voting, our community hall has voting. There's just lots of places that you can go to vote. Game Widow says it's 96 in Victoria. Geez, Queensland's getting a raw deal. Francis just checked. It's 55 in New South Wales. So, are you guys all checking for like? Because I know that it's different depending on which kind of election you've skipped. Are you all checking the same? Like, are you checking for local or state or federal elections? Yeah, and Leanne's right. And now we also have a lot more options for early voting. You were always able to cast an early vote, but it was very difficult to find somewhere to do it. Like you quite often had to go completely out of your area to find somewhere. But now they try and have something in each city council to try and have somewhere to vote. So yeah, I'm just like the difference in the pricing between Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria makes me think there has to be something else. Like really? Like why do I have to pay 155 to not vote if Victoria only has to do 55? Chintamani says Queensland election website didn't specify what sort of election. That is weird. Okay. Well, I mean, hey Abs, you have to vote, otherwise it's $160 fine. No, we've just looked it up. For WA, it's $20 for the first time and then 50 for further ones. Yeah, most fines are more expensive in Queensland. I think everything's more expensive in Queensland right now. I watched an article that was talking about Queensland real estate and how ours has gone up even more. Like they were talking about it was cheaper to buy a house in the outer suburbs of Melbourne than it was here. And I'm just like, no, that's not right. Like, that's not right, is it? I haven't done any further research, but I just feel like that can't be right. Francis says federal election has a $20 penalty. There you go. That is weird. But there's a fine. And it looks like it's going to be hit and miss as to what kind of fine you're going to get and how much it's going to cost. Oh my gosh. But needless to say, in Queensland, I'm not willing to risk it. I've always voted. The second I was 18. And also you can vote from 18 here. So, yeah. And I think in a way it's good because it means that I can actually have an opinion on politics because I did vote. So, and I think I'm always blown away by, like, especially in countries that don't have compulsory voting, where someone would be complaining about the current political party or whatever, and they're having a big old whinge. And you're like, who did you vote for? And they're like, oh, I didn't vote. And you're just like, well, then you forfeited your right to have a choice. So, Alison says, so if you never register to vote, will you ever get fined? I don't know how it works. I really don't. Abby, did you have to register to vote or did you just find yourself registered? Because Abby's just going through all this now because she turned 18 last year. But she said that she was already registered, so she didn't have to register to vote. Oh wow, okay. She just yelled out that she got a thing in the mail telling her to register, and then she didn't do anything with it. And then a few weeks later, she got she got a notification that she'd registered. So she was just like, okay. And she says it happened to a pile of her mates as well. So maybe something happens, especially like because she's got a driver's license and other things. So maybe there's ways governments can tell. Like, do you pay tax? Yes. Oh, I had to register. I had to fill out paperwork. Sally says in South Australia, we get 3 notices sent out. First is an explanation on why you didn't vote. After 90 days, you get a second one with a fine. Okay. Um, Francis says that it can take a couple of years, but they do usually catch up to you. All right, cool. Um, oh, and then if you don't pay the 109, you'll get 180. Wow. And if you don't, Talia says if you don't register and they find out, they get big mad. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. But like in my whole life, I've only heard of my dad. Like only one person I know of has ever gotten a fine, which was my dad in this one instance, and that's in my whole life. So. A Game Widow says Medicare shares info with the Electoral Commission. That's how they found out I'd moved. Oh, okay. There you go. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, so in Australia, it is compulsory to vote. You're fined if you don't vote. Obviously, the fines vary from state to state, which I didn't even know. I just assumed there was a set fine. Um, but they also make it ridiculously easy to get out and vote. Like from some of the things that I hear in the US, they make it very hard to register to vote. And then they also make it very hard to find a polling station that'll actually be open at a time that you can get there. So I've heard some pretty decent horror stories of people who've waited in lines for 8 hours to vote, and then they're told voting stations closed and the doors literally close. And apparently there's some rule. I don't know too much about the voting process in the US, but apparently there was this big kick up because apparently anyone who's in the line should be allowed to go in and vote, and they're supposed to keep the doors open, but they can stop people from joining the line. Anyway, I don't know how true that is. But yeah, it is very weird. Chintami says all you have to do is get your name marked off. Nothing says you have to mark the paper. That is true. That is true. But I think if you donkey vote, which is what we call that in Australia, where you go in, you go to the effort to go to the polling booth to get your name ticked off the list, so that you don't get the fine, and then you basically just either, do something silly on the paperwork or just fold it up and put it in unfilled out. That's a donkey vote. And like you've made the effort, vote for someone. So that sounds horrible. It does sound horrible. It really does. So I don't know. It does sound horrible, but yeah. But luckily, we're in Australia. They've made it very, very easy for us to just go and vote. It's still like, oh God, who do I vote for? Because it's politicians, right? But it's the actual process of voting is a lot easier. Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't vote, and have your say, you don't get to have complaints about who gets in. Agreed. Agreed. I honestly believe that if you do not vote, you don't get to have you don't get to have a discussion about the politics of your region because you didn't vote. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. For a democracy, the US system seems very undemocratic. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't understand it very well. I don't understand it very well at all. I know I'm always confused by, like in Australia, the leader of our party will be the person who ends up being prime minister. So we have prime ministers rather than presidents because we are under British rule. We are part of the Commonwealth. And so we have prime ministers rather than presidents, and that could be the difference as well. That could be a difference too. But so if we vote for, like, say it's a federal election and you're voting for the Labor Party, then whoever's the current head of the Labor Party will end up being the prime minister. And so it's sort of, whereas you guys in the US, you could have 3 Democrats all vying for the position of prime minister. Vying for the presidency. And I'm always just like, how does that work? So I'm always and like I loved West Wing, and so basically all of my political knowledge comes from West Wing when they are talking through, oh, you've got to get this state and this state, and you've got to do this and this state. That's it. That's the extent of my knowledge, just about like a little bit of extra research. Hank Green over on his channel. Um, I'm not sure if he does it every election, but quite often they actually go through and do a thing of how to vote in each state. So, because they have a lot of young people who watch their channels, a lot of students. And so, how to actually register to vote in the different states, because it's also different in every state. So, yeah. And in the US, you could also have your residence might be in one state, but if you're a university student living in another state, it it it's bizarre because you're not a resident of that state. You're still a resident of the state that your parents' house is. Anyway, I don't know how it works. Um, Permanent residents don't have to vote. Only citizens. Yes, in Australia, citizens vote. That's right. I am a citizen. I was born here and raised here. Also, American taxation system is rife. Did you know America is one of the few countries in the world? Like, I think it's the only first world country, but I think it's only like one of three countries in the world that tax its citizenry rather than its residents. So you could be an American citizen living in Australia for 20 years and you're still expected to pay income tax in the US on the income that you're earning in Australia. And the US doesn't see our superannuation, which is compulsory in Australia, doesn't consider that to be untaxable. That is savings that you're trying to hide. So they want to tax your superannuation as well. So it is bizarre. It's very weird. Taxing your citizenry rather than your residence is just a little bit odd. It's isn't the world an interesting place? Like, seriously, like, aside from like taxes and voting and everything, two English speaking countries, two democracies, both founded by Britain or Great Britain, right? For however, whatever. So both came from sort of the same part of the world. So totally different voting systems, totally different taxation rules. Just like everything is so different. So yeah, it's so weird. Oh yeah, the fee to rescind your citizenship is a joke. Like, yeah, it's an absolute mess. They make it really hard. They make it very difficult. Um, but yeah, it's so odd. Like, and not just even between, like, even the differences between Australia and the UK, and it's there's so many differences, like in just English speaking worlds. Then you move on to the countries that aren't democratic, that have dictatorships, and that's even like, oops, I just saw something falling over here. I just have to stop that. Um, like, it's so interesting to me just to see how all these different things function. I'm not going to say work because they don't all work, but how they function, and the processes and everything that has to be done to keep it all in place. It's so very different. It's so very different. Um, it's it's very different how we all run and exist in very different rules and laws. Oh, I know. And like, I talk about this every now and again, but the thought of like traveling, right? It's going to be a culture shock. Even like less of a culture shock if you go to an English speaking world, English speaking country. But even still, there are lots of things that are different. Like, we've discussed this before, the whole tipping in the US. I watched this thing where, and it might have been like a specific to a restaurant, but it was just a short. So there's no real detail. But basically, this guy asked this waitress, like, "What happens if I don't tip?" And she was like, "Okay, so a good service tip is usually around 20%. So if I give you good service, I honestly expect about a 20% tip, which is what we usually get. And out of that, she has to share her tips with busboys and kitchen staff and someone else. So basically, she has to take about 5% of that 20% out and give it to other people. And apparently, if you don't tip her, she still has to pay the rest. So she ends up paying to wait at your table. And I was just like, that's not right, is it? And this interviewer was just like, yeah, I've heard this before, but it's not right. It shouldn't be done that way. If you don't get the tip, no one should get the tip. But in that particular restaurant, that's how it works. So she's really got to push for the tips. Um, Whereas in Australia, our wait staff are paid minimum wage. So we don't do tipping in Australia unless it's like exceptional, phenomenal service or something like that. We're given the option to tip, but we're not expected to do it. Um, and also in Australia, the tips go to the business, not so much to the servers. So that's the other thing that's a bit different as well. Um, but so our takeaways and things like that, they're just a bit more expensive. Like I see, like, in the US, you can pick up like a chicken burger from like Arby's for like, or a chicken sandwich, they call it, for like 99 cents. Here at like KFC, like a chicken burger, like chicken, bun, lettuce, mayo, um, is like $8. And so even with conversion scales, is it $8? I don't know. It felt like a lot, but I think the meal is like 14. Anyway, which is a medium fries and a can of soft drink. Um, but even with the dollar exchange rate being different, um, it's still like $5 US. If it's $8 here, it's still $5 or $4. Um, Leanne says, I do see tip jars and counters in food places more than I used to. And that's the thing as well. The tip, if you put the tip in the tip jar, that's not going to your server who did all the amazing work, or to the chef or to the kitchen that cooked the amazing food. That just goes to the business coffers. So, there was one night where I was at a pub and my order was completely skipped and the app still asked for a tip. Like, no, dude. No, dude. You definitely don't get a tip for not serving me. But yeah, no, it's all very interesting how it works. So, I mean, I know Abby works in a Woolworths, so in a supermarket as a checkout operator. And I think she's on around $21 an hour. She's probably going to, oh, sorry, 23. She's on 23. And I knew she would hear me and yell out and correct me. But so that's an adult wage at a checkout as a checkout operator at a supermarket. So she scans and bags and takes payment. Oh, and sometimes she does trolleys as well. She has. So yeah. Um, but yeah, so it's definitely we do give people a better wage, so those costs have to be passed on. So even with home delivery, they ask if you want to tip. I know that with like if I use something like Uber Eats for home delivery, they want a tip, but I've not noticed a tip on like any of the major services that do their own deliveries. But I don't actually. My husband deals with the takeaways. I don't. I'll be like, hey, I'm not cooking. Do you want to organize takeaway? And that's the end of my involvement. Um, yeah.
I'm actually hired as a trolley girl. My position got changed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm the full-time trolley girl.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I get an extra dollar. So I was on 22. Now I'm on 23.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Alison says that Domino's doesn't on their seat. My kid is a food server at a stadium and is on about 17 an hour, which is for a teen is good money. Do you remember how much you were paid at Woolies while you were still at school?
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, 17.
17.
Yeah, so before Abby became an adult, so while she was still a student, like still under 18, she said she was on that 17, $18 area as well. But yeah, it's so and I read these horror stories where these women who work like these 12-hour shifts in a diner are paid like $5 an hour. And they need their tips. If they don't get the tips, they're not making enough to pay rent. So it always surprises me. And then when you hear the businesses say they can't afford to pay more, I'm always just like, well, yeah. Yeah, Abby gets penalty rates as well. So like both our Abbies, because all Abbies get penalty rates. Um, yeah, Francis says I don't use Uber Eats or any of those delivery companies as they don't pay minimum wage. Yeah, look, if I every now and again, like if I don't have my car here and I'm stuck and I desperately need something, or like a special lunch for myself as a treat, I will do it. But I'm talking twice in the history of me working from home. Um, Usually I've got a car, and where I live is really close to a pile of different places, so I can just. It's not close enough to be able to walk there and walk back while it's still hot. Otherwise, I'd possibly do that. But yeah. Uh, we've had to bribe using a tip so our whole takeaway order would be delivered after multiple times where part of it was left behind on the counter. Really? Like seriously, if they've left your order behind, they don't deserve a tip. Some places also get taxed on the tips. In Australia, a tip is part of your income and you will be taxed on it. There is no untaxable income in Australia. Well, there is. You get to earn, I think, what is it, 18,000 a year tax free, and then after that, we've got a sliding tax scale. Abby says 18,200. Um, and so there's a sliding tax scale. So as you earn a bit more, then you get zero taxed on your first 18,000, and then the next bracket you'll get this much, and then the next bracket you'll get this much. So yeah, burrito bowls. That's exactly what I had delivered. Oh, you know me too well, Leanne. You know me too well. And Guzmini Gomez is too far for me to walk to. I'm not walking there. I'd die, especially in the heat of lunchtime. Mm. It's all very bizarre. Um, but yeah, it's all very weird and it's all very bizarre how it all works. And different countries do different things. And the expectation, like if I go to the US, I have to tip. So I just don't want to screw it up is my biggest issue. I don't want to make a server angry at me because I just didn't understand. But it's not even just the whole tipping thing. It's like there's hardly any public transport in the US from what I hear. Not like how we've got it in Brisbane where I can jump on buses or trains. Like there's a bus stop out the front of my house, So well, it's just down a little, but there's bus stops like and a couple near me that'll go to different locations. And then there's a train station that'll go either down to the Gold Coast all the way up to the city with stops all in between. Um, we have different. It's different things. It's just different. Oh, I did a Google review and Guzmini Gomez emailed me and are rewarding me. Oh, nice. Gotta love that. Yeah, I love a good burrito bowl. A Josephine, who is sometimes here in the chat, um, the told me about a little trick because I love a good burrito bowl from Guzmini Gomez. It's a Mexican-ish. I say ish because I've never had proper Mexican food from Mexico because I've never been to Mexico, so I don't know how close it is. All right, so it's Mexican-ish meals, and it's just really like delicious, and I like getting like the barbecue chicken burrito bowl, and then add veggies because you can get a veggie burrito bowl, chicken, pork, or beef burrito bowls. But I get the chicken burrito bowl, but I get them to add veggies, which gives you this grilled capsicum and onion mix that's really delicious with guacamole on it. So I'm like, I will have that. Oh yeah, oh that's the other thing. The prices don't include tax. In Australia, all prices on the shelf must include tax. So that if it says $2 and you go to the checkout, you hand them $2 and you're good. Whereas and in the US they're like, yeah, but different counties and states and stuff have different taxes. Yeah, but the checkout machine rings it up, right? So that number is there somewhere in the system. So, but yeah, in Australia, whatever's the ticket is. I love watching the TikToks and the Instagram reels of the Americans in Australia or Australians in America, um, like the things that I didn't know. Do you know what I mean? Like the thing I didn't know about coming to Australia or the thing I didn't know about going to the US. I find them so interesting. And just every now and again, I'll just be like, really? Like what? How? How? I don't know. Oh yeah, GYG fries are pretty solid. I don't usually get them, but Tim does. Tim gets a meal. So he likes his fries with those. Hubby, who's been to Mexico, says it doesn't resemble anything he ate over there. It's more Texan. That's okay. I don't care. It's delicious. I'm going to eat it. That's why I said Mexican-ish. So yeah. Oh, Frances is done. She finished her last spin for the Sydney Easter show. Drop off is tomorrow. Much better organised than last year when I missed the drop off day. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah, look, it is an added extra. You pay for it. But it next levels the meal, honestly. Totally next levels the meal. Holly says that there is public transportation over here. Some places have better than transport than others. I mean, and that is true here as well. So I live in an outer suburb of Brisbane, right? If you live further in, so I live well, I actually live in Logan, which is the next municipal out from Brisbane. Um, if you live in the Brisbane municipal, there's better bus services. And if you live even closer into the city, you've got more options. Whereas I'm out in the suburbs, so it does limit things. But I've got really good train services out here. So, and we live really near the train station. We bought this house because it was walking distance to a train station. Um, so yeah, different things. But when I was in Sydney, again, I lived on the train line because I needed the train to get to work. I will say that my first job in Sydney, it was not convenient to public transport to work. It was, let me just think. It was a bus to the train station, and then a train to a bus station, and then a bus to the office. Is that how it worked? So it was, yeah. So it was two. So it was a bus to the train station, then catch the train to another train station, and then get off there and jump on a bus. So yeah, two buses and a train. It was not awesome. Let me just. It was not awesome. Um, and it would take me nearly 2 hours, but for me to drive there, it was a 25-minute drive. But I didn't drive. I didn't have a license or a car, so driving was not an option. But yeah, there are some spots that just aren't good for public transport. But where I lived was great if I wanted to go into the city. There was a direct bus to the city, but I didn't work in the city. Mm, bubbles are done. But yeah, it's all very interesting. It's all very interesting. How just even just English speaking countries are so totally different. But yeah, it's very very bizarre. My husband does a bus, then a train, then a tram to get to work. Gosh. Um, we worked out because my husband now works for a different company than he worked for when we first moved here. And while it's on a train line, it's on a very different train line. So if he can public transport it to work, it will take 2 hours, um, minimum. I think it works out at. Whereas he can drive there in peak hour in about an hour-ish usually. Sometimes it's worse. But when he comes home, it's much faster because he comes home just a little bit later, skips the traffic, and it's a 30-minute drive home. So yeah, but yeah, it's it depends on where you are and where you're going for the transport around here. Sometimes you're just like, oh my god, I just can't get there. It's not going to work. Um, he works on the edge of the CBD, and it takes him an hour to do it. Okay, wow. Gosh, I really like. I used to hate having to do the multiple things because especially with one of the buses, there was only 3 buses that made that I could get to work on time from like 6 a.m. in the morning. And because of where my office was, it was out in the middle of nowhere and it was like a specialty bus route. And if I missed it, it's just a nightmare. And it was one time I had to catch a cab and it was like a $50 cab fare. And I was just like, oh my God. This is before Uber. This was a long time ago. The last job I worked, there was no parking, so I had to public transport it. It didn't seem to matter what time I finished work or how much I hustled to the station. I always missed the train. Isn't that the way though? I would always miss my train. And then you have to wait for an hour for the next one. Oh my gosh. Leanne has just gifted a membership. Leanne, you're a champion. And Shannon Cooper has scored that free membership. I can't bring that on screen, but I can put Leanne is very generous and she has gifted a membership. So what that means for you now, Shannon, is for the next month, you will have you'll be green. You're green now. You can see you're green, and you'll be highlighted. So I'll be able to respond to your comments faster and better. Um, and within the next month, I will be running that live stream over on Discord. So make sure you're a Discord member, and you'll get to jump into one of those. If you continue your membership, you'll be able to keep coming back. But it'll be heaps of fun. It'll be heaps of fun. So thank you so much to Leanne for sharing that. Um, yeah. So I suppose I should just maybe we could just nut out a date like March. Get off 14,000 notifications. Um, let me just look here. So that one's it can do. So 1, 2, 3. All right. March 23rd at 10 a.m. Brisbane time. So same times that we start now, but on a Saturday for us, Friday if you're in the US. So I'm going to add it to my calendar. So March 23rd at 10 a.m. And we can always tweak it up if it's not suitable for a large number of people. But March 23rd at 10 a.m. We're going to have a special members call over on Discord. Okay, so I'm going to put that in here. Hang on. 23rd of March, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. There we go. Lots of typos in there because I had to type over the top of a blanket. Holly says, so is that the 22nd my time? Yes. So if you, like what I tend to do to double check time zones, because I'm terrible at it, is in my Google Calendar. So I'm assuming everyone's got a digital calendar, or most people do. You can actually choose the time zone. So you could put 23rd of March, 10 a.m., and then choose the Brisbane time zone, and it'll put it into your calendar in your preferred time zone. So you'll get to see that. So with these members call, it's like a Zoom call. So you need to make sure you've got some way to hear and some way to see. And you can have your camera off or on, it's your call, but if you're coming to join into the Zoom call, you should have your camera on. We're just going to sit and craft together. So, and chat, and if you've got questions that you want to ask directly, or just chat to each other even, and we'll make it like a craft group meetup kind of situation where we can all just, have a chin wag for an hour or two. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how people want to leave or whatever. This is a test run. We're having our test run. And now that it's in the calendar, I feel better because I took action and just did it. So, and I'll also, if someone can remind me, because I will forget, if someone can remind me to add it as an event into the Facebook group, just so that people who didn't make the live stream, they can see that we're going to be doing this. If they're a channel, and you need to be a currently paid channel member. Discord sorts it straight out. So if you are a channel member and you haven't gone over to Discord yet, you will need to join the Discord server to join this call. It's going to be on Discord. It's not on YouTube. And there is instructions on how to connect your YouTube channel. Once you've done that, you'll have another section of the server instantly opened up to you that's for channel members only, and it's going to be in there. So, and if you have questions, if you are stuck, pop it into the general chat and somebody will help you, whether it be me or one of the other amazing people over there who knows Discord probably better than I do, just to help you get that sorted and get involved, because it will be fun. It will be fun. And you can do Discord on your computer or on your phone or on your tablet. Yes, you can do Discord on your computer. I have it on everything because sometimes I just want to be in the chat and I've got it on my phone. But sometimes I want it on my computer. So if I'm doing a call or something like that, I tend to do it from my computer just because it's all set up, right? But you can totally do it from your laptop, your computer, anything. Leanne says, don't be scared. It's easy and explained well. I did it. You can too. Absolutely. That's the thing to remember is we've all had to learn how to do it. And I know that like for some of you, the Discord is not really is it's not something that you're comfortable with because it's new, but we can help. We can help you make it fun because like I have noticed that like the Facebook groups got like, 5 to 600 members. The Discord server's only got like 50. So there's a lot of people on one who aren't on the other. Um, these calls will only be run on Discord. So if you are not on Discord, you will miss out. It's that simple, which you miss out on one of the perks of being a channel member, which I should probably add into the perks of being a channel member. Is it a bonus perk? It's a bonus perk. Mm. You know, when you're just worried that you just wore all of that? That's where I was at then. But yeah, so can one of the mods just drop the link into the Discord again, just to have it right there, just to make it easy for anyone now that we've just been, flogging the Discord server. Also, there will be a crochet along coming up that also will be running through the Discord server. So if you are interested in joining a crochet along, which that's the information, that's all the information I've shared publicly so far about it. So you need to be a member of the Discord server for that as well. There we go. I really only do YouTube and Discord on my phone, but I'll set it up on my computer before the chat. Awesome. Yeah, I do a lot of my Discord on my phone. Like just in the forums and stuff like that. Whereas if I'm doing anything where I need to jump on a call, like be on video, I tend to do it from here. Just because this room's like I can shut the door and it's my space. Whereas if I'm in the living room, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? Random life stuff. Dog could jump on me. Abby could run past squealing because she's a toddler sometimes. Success, the toddler is napping. Oh, that is awesome. Congratulations, Talia. I'm so glad that you get a few minutes of just and then quickly do all the things you need to do that you can't do when the toddler's awake. Because everyone's like, don't they have naps where you can rest? It's like, you have no idea what needs to get done in that time. But yeah, it's got lots of cool stuff coming up and a lot of stuff that I had hoped to start already for this year, but just with me getting COVID and a slow start to the year, it's just all chocked back a couple of months. So hopefully kicking everything in really soon. If you are planning, if you have already RSVP'd and I already know you're coming to retreat, there will be an email coming out next week with the details on the dates of when the next payment is due, which will be mid-April. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Then the final payment will be due mid-July, and so that it's all paid for and everything's done. And I will be contacting. I think I've still got to organise. We've had 2 people pull out, so I need to let 2 people off the list know that if they want in, they can, and then work down the list that way. But yes, it's all very exciting and lots is happening and lots is coming. So just got to try and get on top of everything again. Let's have a look here. It's a really good day for it. He's been a menace this morning, a lovable menace, but still. Francis says, I work Saturday mornings. Oh, Francis. What we'll do is we'll run this one on the Saturday morning and then we may run another one. We may run 2 to try and balance out some time zones because we do have some channel members that won't be able to make it because they can't always make the live streams either. So we'll start this one at this time zone. We'll see how it goes and then we might try and do one where it'll be a night time for me. So we'll do like a balance. So it'll probably start at like 7 or 7:30 p.m. my time, and run for an hour or 2 on but it would still be a Saturday night. So yeah, I think it would still be a Saturday night. Yeah. Leanne's going to be watching out for the retreat form. Woohoo, retreat. Awesome. Francis says, do the next one in the school holidays and I'll be there. when is school holidays? I know they're coming up. Easter is at the end of March this year. It's probably the week after, right? It's probably the week after, which we can't do it the week after because we have caffeinated crafters at Kawanda. So, yeah. Sal says she's excited for us all for the retreat. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time. We always have a good time at retreat. Retreat's just so fun. And that is interesting. Thank you, Leanne. It's about 2 weeks after Easter. Depends on which state. Okay, yeah, I don't know. You know what? It's so weird. I don't even keep track of school holidays anymore. I just don't. Um, it's so bizarre. It's just really, really weird. Um, Terrific Creation says nighttime would be awesome. Kid wrangling makes crafting tricky. Terrific Creations, where are you? Are you in Australia or are you elsewhere? Because that's what we're trying to balance out, like different time zones as well as different times of the day. Abby's in her Jonas Brothers merch from the concert the other night. She's very happy. She's doing a little, I don't know what that is, dance. Is that a dance? I don't know what that was. Oh, sorry, it was a strut. Yeah, whoops. So yeah, so that 10 a.m. on the Saturday is a Brisbane time zone. So Brisbane, Australia. Oh, Terrific Creation says Victoria. Okay, all right. So you're another one who would prefer another Australian who would prefer a night time zone. Okay, I'm all for this. Like I reckon we can try and swing it so that we do. It wouldn't be on the same day, okay? Because I also work Saturday night for another creator or two other creators. So, um, yeah. So Saturday nights I can't have too many of them where I'm doing stuff because it's normally my sleeping time. So, or maybe I could do them on the same day. It could work. It could work. Oh, I'll have to have a look. I'll have to have a look. Terrific Creation says I may need to get a membership sorted. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a little shuffle around of the memberships. So right now, if you're on the lowest membership tier, you are able to do everything. But what I will be doing is actually making it so that to join these calls, you'll need to be on the top two tiers. And the lower membership will get everything else, but just not the calls. But for right now, it includes the calls. So this month, it still includes the calls. So we do have 3 tiers of membership. They all offer exactly the same perks, but I will be changing that up. So I've got to sit down and have a good look and make sure, and just make sure that I'm being fair to myself as well as to you guys. Because I really like with the 3 tiers of memberships, I just really wanted to make it so that you could all join in, if that makes sense. I just really wanted to. Oh, okay. Oh, hang on a second. Abs. Abby's going to the shops, and I asked very nicely for her to pick me up a treat. Treats. I love treats. Okay. Yeah. So I just it sounds. I hate these conversations. Um, but yeah, I want to try and make it so that those of you that are paying a little bit more feel like you're getting value as well. But also those of you that can't afford to pay more still are getting some value. Does that make sense? No, not a burrito ball. Okay. So yeah, no, not a burrito bowl. It's. I've got. What have I got? I've got something in the fridge. Oh, I've got lasagna, leftover lasagna from dinner last night. So I've got lunch sorted. But yeah, so that's on my list of things to get fixed up and to sort out and to sort of balance out a little bit. Because I still want it to be great value for everybody. That's the thing. I still want, like at the moment, I'm like, there's no value. So I still want those of you that are paying higher tiers to feel like you're getting something a little extra for the extra that you're putting in. But I still want those that can't afford the higher tiers to still feel included, mostly. It's hard. It's hard because it's these were my choices. Either increase all of the tiers so that everyone still has everything, or make it so that the very bottom tier just misses out on the video calls. And it was just like, I don't know if I want to increase all everybody. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's hard because we've had the same pricing for the tiers now for years, and I have to go in and refresh everything because YouTube have changed how it all happens. But yeah, it's a tough one, and I hate it. I hate it. I'm like, this thing was working. I don't want to touch it. And YouTube's like, well, you have to touch it because you need to agree to some new terms and stuff. So you've got to go in and jiggle some things. But yes, I'm sorry if that's terrifying any people. Like, sorry, members. Keep an eye out. Your membership may now not include a video call. No, it'll definitely stay the same for the rest of this month at least. Because I really want to give it some good proper thought where my brain works. You know, like before COVID, I was, I was trying to sort it all out. So I've got like a rough bare bones, but I'm not. I can't. I've got to just sort of really hard think about it. Leanne says, I think it's fair to make the levels of membership different. Look, and most people do. On most channels, the levels of membership are different. And that's why you pay. You choose the level of membership that you want to choose based on what you're getting out of it. And I wanted to just give people the opportunity to support if they wanted to at a price point that they could afford to. Whereas now I want to offer some more things. I've got more time on my hands, so I can offer some more things to make it better value for some people. But yeah, it's hard. This is the hard part, right? For me, this is the really hard part. I mean, the other option is just make one membership level, which, you know, that could also be an option. I don't know. What I need to go in is I need to go and look and see where everybody is in the different membership levels, and maybe just make one membership level or make two membership levels and get rid of one entirely. And I don't even know. I don't even know, honestly. But I do want to give more interaction for members, which is why we started the Discord server, because it can do that. And I can do these calls over there, and that just Discord does all the work of deciding who can and who can't come in. I don't have to think about it. The only thing I had to choose was how long a grace period. So, like, if your membership lapses, how long until you're booted from this section? And it's all done automatically. I don't get a list of like such and such is not paid up and you have to kick them out. Discord automatically goes, okay, this membership has lapsed as of like 7 days ago, so it's now time for them just to be in the main group. Things like that. And I like that. I like that it does that automatically. And I think I chose like a really long grace period because I'm like, one time, because I'm a channel member on some channels, and I realized I didn't have my little thing, I didn't have my green name. And I was like, what is going on? And I didn't realize my credit card had expired, and therefore I hadn't paid. And I must have got an email or something about it, but I just didn't notice it. So I had to go in. Leanne says, if one of your subscribers on your other channel was asking the same question, what would you advise them? So are you asking, like, if over on the live streaming channel where I teach people how to live stream, if they were asking what to do with their membership levels, what would I advise them? Is that what you're asking there? I just want to be clear. I'll take some coffee while YouTube lets your reply come back. Okay. All right. Yeah. I would advise them to have 3 different membership tiers or 2 different membership tiers offering different things. That's what I would advise them. I don't always do what I advise people to do. Actually, I just about never do. Like, what builds a successful channel and what I do are 2 different things. I do this because I love live streaming. I love hanging out with you guys right here in the chat and talking about all the things and trying to craft, which is just not working at the moment. But I love doing all of that. And so it doesn't actually grow my channel. Like, I'll be really honest, it doesn't grow the channel. But it means I get to hang out with you, which is what I do. Whereas when got my YouTube teacher's hat on, so I'm not thinking about what I actually do. I'm what I know I should be doing. Sometimes the advice is a bit different. The advice is different than what I recommend. Leanne says yes, great advice. Go for that. Yeah. So and this is the thing. I will be changing up the membership plans. I'm just working out how and to what extent, because this is the other thing. I want to be able to make sure that I deliver. I'm an under promise over deliver person. Like, this is what I want. I want to under promise and over deliver so that you get value. That's my goal. And I don't always. Sometimes I screw it and just stuff it up, and I don't intend to. So I want to make sure that I don't stuff it up. So I need to make sure I'm very clear and very decided on it. So Francis says, I am envious of your Yeti mug. Which one, Francis? Which Yeti mug are you envious of? I'll tell you what I'm envious of. Anybody who waited and didn't buy one when I bought one before and was able to get teal. Because if I could get the teal, I would have gotten this in the teal. And I would have just had Survival Beveragino. And I wouldn't have needed to put my name on it. Because my family wouldn't have touched a teal one. The tea is hot. All of them? Yeah. I just have 2. And I do feel like it's luxurious having 2. But I will say it is a game changer for the live streams. My drinks aren't going cold. Like, I would get to like half an hour to 45 minutes into our streams here, and those sips of tea, they'd be cold, right? Not awesome. Not awesome. I got a Yeti mug for my hubby. He got gifted one, but it wouldn't fit in the car mug holder. I'm not sad. Oh, what a shame. It doesn't fit for you. I will take that off your hands. You'll have to share us a photo of your Yeti. If you are in the Discord server and you've got it doesn't have to be a Yeti. If you have a preferred thermal mug or cup or something that keeps your drinks hot for your crafting, because this is the other thing. I'm like, I barely touched the tea, right? But I'll take that out to the lounge room and I'll be able to have the occasional sip of hot tea, like, for most of the day. I won't have to just quickly drink a whole cup of tea, which I don't always do. And I end up drinking half a cup and then the rest of it goes stone cold because I get shiny things. I'll go and look at something and it'll be different. So, it's one of those things. I don't do that. And since I've had the tea thermos now, like this one, I find that I've definitely, because I normally finish this one off while the stream's still going. But this one, I sort of just get started. And it's great. Like, how many of you in the chat here are crafting and realize your coffee or tea is cold? Like, your hot drink has gone cold because you were focusing on what you were doing. Like, man, I wish I could be a Yeti affiliate. Honestly, I really, really wish I could be a Yeti affiliate. They don't have affiliate program in Australia. They do in the US, not in Australia. And because I'm in Australia, I can't join the American affiliate either, even though I've joined plenty of American affiliates. But anyway, I have seen the drink holder hack. Yeah, it looks good. But we're not telling Leanne's husband because he will take back the cup. So all the time, happens all the time to Bianca as well. Yeah. Game changer. I think the first thing I noticed it with was when I've got a T2 tea thermos, but because of the shape of it, I only like to make the tea that doesn't have milk in it. because it's really hard to clean and it's hand wash only. These guys, super easy to clean, and you can just hoik them into the dishwasher, which that's the game changer for me. Hello, dishwasher. Gotta love that. Um, but yeah, the teal is just divine, and I'm kicking myself. If I had just waited a couple of weeks, I didn't know there was a new color coming out. I would have gotten a teal one instead of the black one. But anyway, now I just have to like look at all the people's teal ones and not have that. So yes, and I've just realised something. Have you guys been hearing any music play during this stream? Because it looks like I've had background music playing the whole time. What music is it? Oh, luckily. Okay, it's Creator Mix, so that's lucky. So that's cool. Oh no, you can't hear the music? Okay. That's bizarre. It seems quite loud on my soundboard. Really? I'm going to pump the volume up just to see if you guys can hear it. I'm just going to creep it up there. Can you hear it now? All right, now it's at the same level as my microphone audio. No? That is so weird. All right. I'm just going to turn it right down. That's weird. I mean, cool, because I didn't realize it was playing, and it would have really sucked if it wasn't Creator Mix, which is totally copyright free. Bizarre, because I was originally going to stream using Chrome and then decided, no, I'll stream in Firefox. And on Chrome, it was working. I could hear it because I was listening to it while I was doing stuff. It was listening to it through everything. So it was working. And then I was like, hey, no, wait, like 5 minutes for the stream. Oh, I don't want to stream using Chrome. I want to stream using Firefox. So yeah, that's weird. That is weird. That is actually perplexingly weird. I don't understand why it's. Let me look at the sound settings. Main stereo, it should be there. All right, I'm going to try something else. There was a button clicked. How about now? How about now? I turned up a little bit. No, nothing? Still nothing? I don't know. This is like one of the reasons why I bought this sound desk, is so that I could bring music into StreamYard. So weird. All right, nope, cool. So obviously that button means nothing. I'm perplexed. I am so perplexed. I don't understand. I'm going to have to ask some questions in some groups that understand this crap better than I do. Because technically that should have worked. So I don't understand. It's so cool. I mean, it wasn't meant to be playing anyway, so it's not a bad thing. I was just like, I'm perplexed. Because on our productivity streams, it's supposed, like, this is how I would have set it up, to have our music play while we do some work. Is it plugged in? Turn it off and on again. Well, it was working like on the other. Maybe it's a Firefox thing. I don't know. We'll have to test it out on the next productivity stream, which is coming up on the calendar. 1, 2, 3, 16th. The 16th is a productivity stream. So a couple of weeks. We'll test it out. And we're doing a productivity stream this month. Damn it. It will be happening. I missed last month, and I think the month before, like with Christmas, and then anyway, I don't even know. Have we even done a productivity stream this year at all? I don't think so. So we're going to get it done. We're going to get one in. We're going to get back into the habits of getting all the different streams in, and make videos, and all that sort of stuff. Oh dear. All right. Be like, what I need, right, is while Yeti don't offer an affiliate, wouldn't it be nice if they could sponsor a live stream? Be like, sponsored by Yeti. It's not. It's not YouTube. It's not. But wouldn't it be nice if it was? I have to click a button. If I've got any paid sponsorships, there's a button I have to click to declare it, so that you as the viewers all know that it's not like fake. When celebrities like endorse a product and you're not sure if they were paid to endorse it or if they actually like it. According to the FTC rulings in the US, which all the social media companies are based in the US, so we have to follow their rules. You have to disclose. So like if Kim Kardashian's talking about this amazing lipstick she found, but she was paid $1 million, she has to write hashtag ad on her Instagram post, and it has to be right at the top, not down the bottom, buried where people don't look. It has to be like the first thing, right? Francis, yes, the black one is to 20 ounce. Yes. Oh, bye Sally. Bye Sally. So anyway, a celebrity that I follow on Instagram has started doing some little things. And he just did this one recently where he was talking about this car that he absolutely loves and the sleek lines and isn't it gorgeous, and took it for a test drive and was just like, love this car, blah, 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 on and on and on about how good this car is. And the whole video is him having a test drive, chatting with a friend. And then they start talking about the warranties and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is a paid spot. His mate is checking that we've ticked off all the things that we have to say to get paid. But nowhere in the description did it say that it was an ad or a paid spot. And I'm just like, oh, dude. Oh, please, good person who I like very much, don't get like in trouble from the FTC for this. But yeah, if ever I have a sponsorship for Fiberific Channel, I will declare it, right? Most things it's just because I like it, right? And if I can share a link with you that's an affiliate link, I will tell you it's an affiliate link, because that is also has to be done. I can't just be like, oh, here's a link. All the links that I have it written in the description and stuff like that. If I have an affiliate link, I will use an affiliate link. I don't always have affiliate links, but if I do, I'll use one, because it doesn't cost you any extra, and I get like a little couple of cents here. I'll take those few cents. They add up. Amazon generally pays in cents. like in reality, if you buy something from one of my Amazon links, I'm likely to score a few cents. But yeah, so like I'll always share it, but I always find, does anybody else find it frustrating when you're watching someone and you just don't know if it's a paid thing or if they actually like it? Because that bugs me. Like if someone actually likes something, I want to know. But if they're being paid to talk about something, it's like, okay, like that's cool. I'm glad you got paid, because getting paid is awesome. But are you only talking about it because you got paid? Like, I need to know. Like, I'm not going to judge it either way. I just want to know for myself. I just like to know. Like, I have zero problem with this celebrity doing a bit on a car. I have zero problems with it. I just want to know if it was paid or not. Fire alarms going off at the school over the road. Hope it's a drill. Oh, so do I. Yes. But I love it that they do drills, because, I think drills are important. So my fingers are crossed it is a drill. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't have an issue with people doing sponsorships or doing like little, I think we've talked about this before, doing little throws to stuff like that. But this happened like this week. So it's fresh in my mind, and I'm just like, this feels like it's an undisclosed ad, and you will get pounded by the FTC if you get busted. And this guy is pretty big. Like, it's not like just a little, he's like a TV style celebrity. And it's just like, man, yeah, tell you, that's it. It's just be honest. Yes, be honest. Like, I think, like, I know that some people are saying they hate, like they have like YouTube Premium, so they hate it when somebody does like an ad read within a video because they've paid to have no ads. No, you've paid to have no YouTube ads. An ad read is not a YouTube ad. But anyway, and like ads don't actually pay, like the pre-roll ads They pay something, but they don't actually pay a ton. So it's like there's no average, really average amount. It depends on niche to niche to niche. But like if you're getting $6 for every 1,000 ad watches, not just views, they have to be people who viewed the ad, then you're actually doing pretty good. But there's lots of niches that do more. Like I think we're at about $12, which is great. But gaming channels get like $1 per 1,000 views, where they've watched the ad. It's not just 1,000 of the views on the channel; it's 1,000 views where they've watched the ad. But yeah, it's like it's not huge money. So if you can get a little sponsorship deal where like like if it was say Yeti did send me some money, like say they sent me like $100 or something, to sponsor like a month's worth of live streams or whatever, it'd be like, Yeti have sent me some coin, and you guys know how much I love them, kind of thing. It's just one of those things. Like, but you have to say it. You've got to disclose it. I don't want you guys thinking that, like I come in with a Dyson, like, oh look, it can pick up yarn. Isn't this great? And then secretly Dyson have thrown money in my pocket or something, but I didn't disclose it. I feel like an asshat. Oh, sorry, swearing, but I would feel horrible. Like it would feel disingenuous, which bugs me. Like yeah, make it fun, make it part of the stream or whatever. Cool. You still have to disclose it. Anyway, it's a bugbear. It's a bugbear of mine. Like I have zero problems with people being paid. Zero problems. And I've absolutely like zero issues with people being paid. And if they can score brand deals, that is awesome. My one thing is make sure it's relevant to your audience, so that it's a win-win-win. So it needs to be a win for you guys as the viewers. It needs to be something you're interested in, or what's the freaking point? But in saying that, we're all interested in quite a lot of stuff, really. Like, can you imagine like pitching? Like, say one day I got to pitch Yeti, like, hey, come and, to change. Come and support my live stream on my yarn craft channel. Everything on their website is all about outdoor activities. It would be the weirdest thing for them to actually get involved. But how often do we end up talking about my Yeti? Like, in all seriousness, a lot. Yeah, you've sent me stuff, and I always say Emma sent it to me. I mean, I do take bribes. I do. But I just disclose my bribes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a small way to support and watch those you like and admire. This is the thing, right? Like, I have these discussions, and this is probably meant for the other channel a bit more than this one. But we have these discussions about being paid as a creator, right? And like, and I see this happen in like a lot of crafting videos, the comments and stuff in them. It's like, it's free to make a YouTube video. And I'm sort of sitting here looking at my computer and my camera and my soundboard. And I'm like, it's not freaking free to make a good video. Even like a decent phone, right? You have to have internet. You have to have a good phone that's got a decent enough camera on it to make the video. You need light. You need electricity. It is not free to make a video. YouTube do not charge you to host the video, which, thanks YouTube, love that. Because if you go on other platforms like Vimeo and things like that, they do charge you to host the videos. So YouTube don't charge you to host the video, but making the video is not free. So, yeah, I'm always just like, really? You really think it's free to do this? Okay. Righto. Because I know it's not free. But anyway, I have zero problems with people doing ad reads. I have zero problems with people doing product placements as long as it's disclosed. All of this stuff has to be disclosed. It's just got to be disclosed. Like Yeti pays me for a product. Well, product placement for Yeti. I do it all the time. Like basically, I hold my Yeti. But basically, a product placement could be just something sitting in the background there. I mean, preferably something that's in focus. Where's a spot that's in focus? I don't know. A top. A top could be a product placement. Um, you know, but you'd be like, oh, Chantelle made this top for me to wear for the stream. It's you just need to, yeah. Oh, yeah. Reminds me of places that ask musicians to pay for exposure. There are times and places where doing something for free helps, right? Oh, yeah, perfect. The Stormtrooper bag. He's in focus. Absolutely. Stormtrooper bag is in focus. That would be a good spot for a. It's a Game Winners product. It's not meant to be. It's got a project in it. It's just there because it's my craft trolley. But yes, that's the perfect spot for sure. But yeah, sorry, back to this one. Musicians that pay for to play for exposure. And I truly believe there's times and places where doing something for free is helpful, whether you're learning a skill or proving that you know a skill, but doing it once is different than doing it forever. In Australia, we don't really do the internships like in the US. Like there are some in ed, like Abby did an internship when she was doing her vet nursing thing. So she had to go and do some placement hours where it's more of a placement rather than an internship, but she didn't get paid for that. And that's actually becoming an issue in Australia because there's some companies that are taking advantage of the students and getting them to work ridiculous. Like I think I was reading, I've been doing so much reading. There was a nurse who had to do something like 4,000 placement hours while still studying at uni, while paying rent. So she had to give up paid hours to work placement hours. And it's fine if you are if you're living at home and don't have rent to pay or something like that. But if you're not living at home, you've got bills to pay, and that's a ridiculous amount of placement hours. With Abby, she had to do 240 placement hours. Now she was still at school, so it was a bit easier for her. But yeah, like so we don't do the free internship where if someone goes and works somewhere for 3 months for free for exposure to put on their resume thing. It's not really something that we do here. Our students and our tradies, like when you're being an apprentice to a tradies get paid an absolute pittance, and they're still expected to have running vehicles. I think there needs to be like a huge shake-up. There has to be a huge shake-up because cost of living is just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, so working for free is not really a thing that's really accepted in Australia. Usually, but then you do see things like this where it's like, oh, you could do it for exposure. My instant reply back to that is people die from exposure in Australia. So, yeah. Also, oh, can you write that exposure as a check in my landlord's name because but yeah. Oh, Francis is off. Oh, yeah, we're running a little bit over. Sorry, guys. I got on a high horse about something. Talia's first spin project is spun drying photos in the fun zone for anyone. Awesome. Where is it? I love a funny ad read. They generally get a good watch from me. Yeah, like that's the thing, right? You got to make it fun and integrate it somehow. Like if you guys have ever watched Linus Tech Tips, he takes the mickey. Like every time it's like time to do an ad read, it's hilarious. It's so funny. It's like eyes rolling kind of things, but it's really funny. But yeah, and I agree, Francis. I think people should be paid for their placement hours. Maybe not paid like at a full rate. Like they are not a fully qualified nurse. No. But they're able to do enough to put them in a position where they're doing stuff. So a reduced rate, pay them. Yeah. Fun zone. Oh yeah, thank you. There's a link to the Fibrific Fun Zone. Yes. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things I love about Australia. There's a lot of things I love about lots of other countries. There are some things I don't like about any of them. And making people work for free is crap. I'm like, nope. In saying that, I've done things for free. to prove my skills, to prove myself, to prove my expertise, but not forever. Not not forever. It's yeah. Um, it's a trial. Like I'll do a free trial. I won't do a free forever. Except for moderation. I seem to do that for free forever. Same with my moderators. Thanks, guys. All right. On that note, I'm going to run away as well now that Francis is gone and Sally's had to go, and it's after 12. We're 10 minutes over. I really appreciate that all of you that stayed all of this extra time and listened to me just rant on about stuff. And I will see you all next week. So be good. Get some crafting done. I need to vicariously live through your craft projects. So share them so I can see them. I'll see you all next time. Bye now.